Hello, this is final project presentation on the Programming for Engineers course. And this is presentation from the team called Formula One. So let's begin.
In first slide we can see three pieces of code. Firstly, int main function is responsible for declaration of function and main one in the code. Then you can see start function inside of this, which is responsible for running almost all main functions that can be seen in void start.
To take a look at this game itself, this function has several Boolean type variables designed so that they will ensure that game will end, the user will win, or he will lose. So if the user will input some coordinates in wrong values, less than 0 or more than 9, he will see some error, wrong move, enter coordinates again.
There you can see shut function. Shut function checks if cell chosen by player is safe. First it gets integer x and integer y values, which are then checked by Minesweeper. And if chosen cell is bump cell, function returns true or 1 value, which leads to fail. If cell is safe, game continues because function returns false value.
So next, I want to talk about open tiles function. This function is designed in order to open adjacent cells which have a value of 0, or border cells with non-zero value. This function will call itself till it will stop on non-zero cell.
In this slide you can see piece of code from level B multiplayer task, start, class and score. In start function you can see that start function runs the main functions of the code: create board, create mines board, place mines, render board. They are similar to level A code, but there is some little change that we included multiplayer in level B and gave options of game mode.
The main difference between level B and A is the presence of OOP in the form of the player class, which you can see on the screen. This class has two private fields, string name, int score, and there are also public functions, such as its constructor, which takes the string name as a parameter and writes it to the private name variable and sets the default value for score. There is also a getter and setter for score and a getter for name.
In level B, we have also a function called score, which is not available in level A. So this function is designed so that it will count the score of each player separately. And you can see how it's made on the example.
In the multiplayer game function, we create two players and set the count step variable to determine the number of available steps. Here we use the loop for to implement the sequence of moves of two players by means of checking the current move for even or odd. Also, if the coordinates are entered incorrectly, the program will ask us to enter the coordinates again until we fulfill the condition. The endgame variable records the result of the shut function, which returns true in case of hitting a bomb, which means the player loses, and the value false in the opposite case. Then the winner is determined by the number of points scored.
So in our application we have a couple of bonuses. First one is number of mines. This function asks user how much mines he wants to see on the board, and then takes the value and gives it to other functions of the game. This feature is available in both parts of our application.
The second bonus menu meets players at the very beginning of the level B game and gives them the right to choose the game mode, where 1 means single player and 2 multiplayer. In the second case, they are asked to enter their names after. Now you can see how these bonuses work.
At the end of this presentation, I want to say something about difficulties. There was some issues, for example, from report. There was issue that all pieces of code should be included and explained. This gave us some hinders in process of developing. Talking about the task, overall it was very good to check our knowledge and work in the group. And finally, this was